Hello everyone, welcome to this week's video. This is going to be out on the tools following a flood. So it's going to be an unusual plumber parts video. I've been called out to this house. They've got a leak in a ceiling. I've already been out and had a little preparatory look and I think I've found where the leak is. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the job, we're going to find the leak, we're going to fix it, we're going to do all that on camera together. We'll have a good chat about fixing it, finding out which pipe it was and all that. But this leak has been going on for quite some time and the main message I want you to take away from this video is how to use a certain tool that most people probably won't associate with plumbers to making sure and helping your customer mitigate the damage from that leak. Right then, so I'm off to get a first look now, or a second look. I had a very cursory glance a couple of days ago at this, but now we're going to have a proper look. I did see where I think it's leaking from. It looks like it's leaking on a bit of 22mm Hep 2O that's on a T-joint, been push fitted together. It looks very, very difficult to get at. So I'm going to need to use a few tools to get at it. I'm going to be there for quite some time, I think, getting this done. But as soon as we get there, the first thing I'm going to do is wheel in my dehumidifier and turn it on and get it all working, basically. So at least then we're drying the room out a little bit, even if we've still got a problem. One of the things that's going to be funny about this job as well is turning the water off, because I have no idea what this pipe serves. So what I'm going to have to do, because it's in an annex of a house, I'm going to have to turn the heating on, I'm going to have to run the hot water, and I'm going to have to use a thermal camera to narrow down and find out what pipes go to what service. Right then, so we're here at the gaff. Let's go and have a look and see what we're dealing with. Very sunny, beautiful day. This house, some of you plumber parts fans may recognise, because it's the house where we fixed the underfloor heating issues that they had and a few other things. That's nice to be called back, isn't it? It's always a good sign. Here is where the leak is. We've got quite bad water damage here already. Look, you can see all of that's been rotting. This lot's rotted out in here. It's also on the top of the wall there as well. It's in that wood. When I pulled this bit down a few days ago, because this was just a quick look, we had loads of water come down here. We've got a bucket there. Look at this bucket. Loads of water in the bucket. But the first thing I'd do now is get the dehumidifier in. Let's start drying out the air in here, because when I came here a few days ago there was condensation all over this window, but the sun's out now so it's kind of gone. But we've definitely got a damp problem in here. I think it's been going quite a long time. So if we look, I don't know if you see it, but there's patches up there as well. First thing is dehumidifier in. Then we're going to cut ourselves a bigger hole here, and then we'll try and figure out what these pipes are, where they go, effect to fix, and then we'll leave the dehumidifier here for a night. I'll come back the next day and we'll see how much water we've collected over that time. Someone got me a lovely cup of coffee. Now, the customer did say to us that they started noticing the leak when there was condensation on the windows on the inside of the house. Now, if you have or haven't got a leak, if you've got condensation on the inside of the house, especially in the bathroom, you might want to consider getting a dehumidifier. But as a plumber, they're brilliant for me to have in the van, because if there is a leak, if we've got a problem, if there's a roof leak or anything like that, I can take this in there and know that I can start drying out the fabric of the building before I've even fixed the leak. I tend to leave mine in this box because it's got these on here and that protects it quite nicely when it's in the van. It's quite good. Nice thing to lift out. I think it's quite cool to sort of turn up. It's like, right, I know you've had a leak, but let's start drying your house out. Let's do it. Right. Right, we're on. Let's set this to... Guys, by the way, don't do what I did here and put it up near a curtain or near a wall. Obviously, the suction is at the back of this. It still worked perfectly fine, but I kind of put it to one side or the other because it was in a corridor and I didn't want it to get in the way. But to get the best out of one of these, put it in the middle of the room, away from anything that could block up the air inlet. Right, so now we've got that on. Let's get this lot cut out and let's fix this leak. What can be more fun in life than cutting out a ceiling? Oh, I love it. So look, that's showing now how bad this problem is in here. So let's get this fixed. Actual water water all over that. So whilst I'm getting that lot cut out, ready to find the leak, let's pop back to the studio where I can give you a close, nicely lit up look at the beautiful dehumidifier that I'm using. So yeah, this is the one I'm using on this job. This is the 12 litre one, which I've found works fine in the bathroom and has worked fine for me. One of the things I noticed, right, before I started using this quite extensively here in the studio, is like paper would get quite damp. If I left like some paper notes about or an invoice or whatever laying around here in the studio, it'd start to feel kind of damp. Since I've used this, they now stay, the paper stays nice and crispy, which is a good thing. So what dehumidifiers do is they've got a small compressor in them that uses literally just watts of energy. So they don't use loads of electricity, and using a refrigeration cycle, they cool down a coil. It makes it so the moisture in the air condenses on that coil and then it's caught in a drip tray at the back. I will try and put this so the blower is blowing into where the leak is. So if there's a leak in a roof, then brilliant, because I know this can blow up like that. We've got a fan setting on here so we can have high and low fan. It's got a timer on here as well, but when I turn up on a job, I just whack this on constant, so it's going all the time. Leave it for a few days after I fix the leak and then go and pick it up later on. Obviously we've got an on-off as well. Round the back, we've got our filter at the back, so the filter just comes off like this, so we can clean that out if we ever need to. And then we've got our little reservoir here at the back with a little lid on it like so, and as you can see, I've used it quite a bit already. But you don't need to use this. You can just pop a hose on the back if you want, or just have a hose going into a sink or something like that. You've got a little gauge on here that shows this filling up, and when it gets to a full limit, it will automatically cut itself off. So it's the perfect thing for me if I'm going into someone's house to make sure that, you know, water damage doesn't get too bad, or at least mitigating it as much as we possibly can. But also, as a plumber, imagine how much better it is that you turn up to someone's house when they've had a problem like this, and you leave them a dehumidifier, or even rent it out to them for a few days to clear up the flood, dry out any wood, dry out plaster, dry out carpet. All these things this can do from one position just by plugging it in, turning it on, leaving it on constant, and then emptying out the reservoir or leaving a hose so it can run almost all the time. So if I just turn this on, I think you want to hear this, because if you're going to leave this at a customer's house, you don't want them complaining about the dehumidifier that you've kindly left them to dry their flood out. Just listen to how quiet it is. That's on high fan at the moment, and the compressor's on already. We'll just turn it down like that. Literally, the decibel level is so low. I mean, that wouldn't keep me up overnight. And we've also got a really simple, easy to use interface for all the settings that we can use. So the main display will tell us the current humidity in the room, but we can also use that to set our target humidity or set it to continuous, which is how I kind of use it. If you look at the buttons, we've got the small shirt on there. I will use that if I come home with a load of wet towels and Emily doesn't want me to put them in the washing machine, so I can just dry them out using that. That means the machine will just run for a certain amount of time before it goes off. There's a high and low fan speed function. Also, we've got a timer as well, and our on and off buttons too. There's also a defrost function as well, just in case you're using this dehumidifier in cold environments. So anyway, let's get back to the job and get this leak fixed. Leak's working away there. So look, we can see the water damage that we've got up here now, and the leak is just on the bottom of that pipe there. You can just see it, but look at all this. All the water damage down here, how black all this is. So it's going to be a good couple of days before this is sorted out. Let's see if we can get this leak fixed over here now. So one of the things that I'd like to do to find out what is going on here when it comes to the leak, one of the things I need to know is, what is that pipe? Where does that pipe come from? Where does it go? Where does it come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Well, a good way to do that is to use a thermal imaging camera like this. And what we can do, we can hold this up here and we can actually get a sense of what we're looking at already. The tea that's leaking is just up here, and at the moment we're not really getting a comeback off that. The pipe that goes across the bottom of it is definitely our cold pipe, and also the 4-inch there is cold as well, because obviously it's the breather pipe going outside. So what I'm going to do is we're going to run some hot water, just the hot water on its own first, and we're going to see if that pipe gets hot. Now I know for a fact that the hot water tank is up that end of the house, and we've got hot taps down here, so let's run the hot water tap over here until it gets hot, and we'll see whether it gets warm or not. Popping up now, Zoe. It has got a very long way to go. It's still cold at the moment. Right, so let's go and see if our thermal imaging camera can confirm whether that's the right one or not. Here we go. I want to see a very hot pipe. So that's, there it is, just there. Oh look, that's the hot pipe. Right, so now we need to effect a fix, which means I need to get a 22 by 22 by 15mm HEP piece. Right, so we're now being watched by Cassie. Hello Cassie, happy dog? You are, aren't you? What we got here? So look, you can see all this mould on the bottom here. It's never good, it's never good, and you don't want to leave it there. So let's just quickly turn this off. It's only been on, probably been on for about half an hour. And let's see if we've actually gathered any water. So just pop the bottom off like this. Oh yeah, look. Excuse me, Cassie. Watch that. Oh, look at that. Already gathering water. How about that? Cassie, are you impressed? You don't look impressed, Cassie. At least be a little bit happy about it. Oh, woof woof woof. Oh, she's a silly sausage. Right, okay, so I'm happy that's doing its job. Drying everything out while we're fixing this leak. Nice and light as well. Small, get it in the position. It's back on again. Reading 60, 58. It's come down quite a bit already, actually. Humidity on that. Cool, right, so that's doing its job. Let's get this hot water switched off and avoid this wood flit. Yes, Cassie. Yes. I get followed everywhere. Anyone ever do this? We good? Right, so what you usually do is you now need to allow in as much air and water as you can. So you need to open every hot tap in the house. See, look, you've got damp up there. So this is where I'd use one of these. I'd get it in here and I'd leave it in for a few days. Get rid of all that damp, because it's daily. Like, you know, in bathrooms, it's a constant battle, really. If you haven't got a huge amount of airflow, then you are up against it. So, let's put it over there. So we're just letting a bit through there now. So we're getting rid of it all. I don't think there's anything through here. Right, so now as we come downstairs, we should find that we open up the hot taps and we'll find that hot water will come out, but it won't come out under mains pressure. What we're doing, we're allowing the water out of the system. So there we go, look. Whereas usually I'd expect that to come out like this, like, you know, real pressure behind it. We're just letting that happen. When you're doing a drain down of one side of the hot and cold, what you want to do is, oh, it feels nicer in there already actually. Cool, it really does. It feels totally different in here. Oh. What you want to do is you want to make sure, if you're working with something like a shower valve on one side, I don't tend to open shower valves because what can happen is the thermostatic part of the shower valve will start to let cold water through, and you might start, you know, you might still have water coming through, so that's not great, is it? Right, let's see what we get. So the water's off. Let's fix this little leak by changing that T over. It's cooled off nicely. This is the bit I hate. Just want to sort of control it. So grim when it runs down your arms like that, down your armpit, under your top and pretty much out where your belt buckle is. Oh, I love it. The feeling of pure joy. I would have done a piece to camera here about all the lovely work that I was doing, but this job was a complete nightmare. It was very difficult to get round and there wasn't really a lot for you to actually be able to see. But needless to say, I changed the T in the end. So we've effected a repair. Now we're going to turn the water back on again. Right, so this is how we're going to do it. Water there, water there. Slowly letting the air out. But we're going to leave the tap nearest to where we're working open, so then we have control over the situation. That's what we're doing now. So I'm getting back nearer to where I might possibly have another leak, but we won't, hopefully. Here she is, my favourite woofer. And woof woof woof. Oh, you're all tied up, Cassie doggy. What's this all about being tied up? What? Hopefully we've got a bit of water up here coming through. Just a tiny bit, that's all we want. Now we're slowly building pressure, but that last tap right near where we're working is still open. So we're not going to be actually making pressure yet. So here I'm turning off this tap and pressurising the hot water system right next to the leak that I've just fixed on the hot water system. This means pressurisation, a potential leak and control is maintained. That was not easy. I've cut my bloody little finger as well. Took the nail right back. I don't know if you can see that, but it hurts, it do, it really do. At least this beast is knocking away now. What I can do as well, we'll clear out a space for it just to go and sit, so I can do a proper dry out job and get rid of all this damp in here. Great, so really happy we got that sorted out. It wasn't an easy one. I'm an injured boy. But now I'm going to leave the Meaco in here all night long and we'll pop back tomorrow just to see how much we've got. But we've got everything cleared up now. I've already probably taken about a pint's worth of water out of the air already with the 2 little drop-offs I've done. But I'm hoping when I come back here tomorrow we should be getting on for a full 12 litres or something like that. As long as they follow my little rules and guidelines. Number 1, shut all the doors in the area that you're actually going to dehumidify. Make sure you definitely don't have a door open to the outside. Otherwise you'll end up trying to dehumidify the whole world. And these are good, but they're not going to do that. So yeah, that's what I'd say to them. Just leave the doors shut all night long. Or if they're going to come in here, just open the door quickly and then shut it again. You can see here the sort of damage that constant damp can do. The smell. Just make you feel ill after a while, just having this sort of stuff floating about in the air and all that. So yeah, it's really good. I'm really pleased with how it's going. It's just nice to be able to have that machine just to dry everything out for us. Hopefully that's all sorted. I suppose the slight good thing as well about leaving the dehumidifier there overnight is that I've got to go back tomorrow, and if there is any sort of small weeps or anything like that, then I can sort them out. But honestly I hope there isn't, because that is not in an easy position. Anyway, we'll fast forward to tomorrow. We're back. What a beautiful day. When is spring gonna start? Cassie! Right, calm down, calm down. Green tea please, mate. Still running? Wow. Down to 61. Good stuff. Right, so I'm back here. Was it one day later? The weather is now atrocious outside. But the beast is still sat down here working away, doing its job. Let's have a look up here now. Look at that. You think about how that was before. Totally dry, drying out really well. But the proof is in the pudding, so let's see how much water we collected from the atmosphere in this room following this leak. Oh yeah, loads. So this is how much moisture we've taken out of the air. That's why that lot has dried out so quick. So in you go, love, another job. Well done. If you've enjoyed this plumberparts.co.uk video, actually hold on, how can we not do it with you, eh? If you've enjoyed this plumberparts.co.uk video about how to fix a leak, how to try and hold off a dog with one hand, and also why you should maybe think about having a dehumidifier in your van, or just in your home, because they're really good for drying your clothes out. If you've done any work in your house or anything like that, it's really good. If you've got a damp problem, obviously these are going to sort it out. I've left the link to Meaco's website. Cassie. Woof, woof, woof. I've left the link to Meaco's website in the description below, so that's good, so you can check that out. And also where you can maybe adopt a dog from. Yes, Cassie. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Ooh, you love a scrub. Right, thanks ever so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, there's one thing you've got to do. That's hold tight. See you soon. Can't it, Cassie? Oh, I can have you in the van all day long, my love. Oh, look at you. You happy doggy, yeah. I was called out to leave. Unfortunately, condensation was the first thing that I saw when I arrived on the scene. How to fix this damn leak? Humidity was too high. With the hole in the ceiling, I could see right through to the sky. Tell me what I do right now. Tell me what I do right now. Precipitation trouble. Precipitation. Almost double. Clammy thighs, moist eyes, sweaty now. Plumber parts came round. It came down. Who put that tea joint there? Who put it in that place? I'll grab him on a scruff of the neck. I'll punch him in their ugly face. I thought it was a fix and go. I thought it fixed a little fine. But to help me get this little flow. Thanks for watching this week's plumberparts.co.uk video. Please hit the subscribe button, check out my channel Times with James, and also become part of the AL Army. You'd have got to select this song, help me devise the lyrics, and also watch me record it as well. Unlucky. Anyway, see you in the next video, guys. Hold tight.